Thursday the 1st of December and welcome to From the South. We start off in Peru with updated information on the crash of the Lamia Airlines Flight 2933. Leaked communications by the pilot reveal he had radioed in that the plane was running out of fuel and in an emergency. Officials confirm the plane had no fuel when it crashed. Newly released video here shows team members of Brazil's football team on the plane. They're on their way to Colombia to play a cup final. In total, 71 people died in the crash, leaving 6 survivors. A mall fire that killed 4 people just before the APEC Global Trade Summit in Peru may have been intentionally set. That's according to authorities. The government of Pedro Pablo Kuczynski had initially ruled out any foul play. However, the Interior Ministry said in a statement this week that it had received pictures and video of a man on the scene when the fire started. They have offered an award of over $4,000 for any information. The ashes of Cuba's former president Fidel Castro is still on its Caravan of Freedom tour across the island. On Thursday night, the remains were taken to the mausoleum of Ernesto Che Guevara, Fidel's friend and fellow freedom fighter. The two fought together in the 60s against US-led invasions and interventions. The Caravan of Freedom is taking the reverse route of the victory tour that Castro took to celebrate his victory over dictator Batista in 1959. Nations across the world plan to combat climate change with or without national government support. That was the consensus ahead of the C40 Mayors Summit, when nearly 50 mayors and deputies from around the globe will discuss environmental issues. Russia has proposed the use of 4 humanitarian corridors to evacuate wounded civilians from eastern Aleppo. The announcement was made during a joint press conference in Geneva with UN Special Envoy for Syria, Staffan de Mistura, and Special Advisor to the UN Special Envoy for Syria, Jan Egeland. Russian President Vladimir Putin reiterated during his annual Federal Assembly address that his government is willing to cooperate with US President-elect Donald Trump. Putin added both countries have a shared responsibility to ensure international security. Ukraine began 2 days of missile tests near Crimea, a move that has angered Russia. This has put Russia's air defense forces on high alert and warships have been deployed in the Black Sea. The disagreement marked a fresh escalation in tensions between the neighbours and one-time allies. A brand new 400-bed reception centre for refugees was opened in November in the north of Paris. The inflatable bubble was designed by a German architect and offers single men a temporary refuge for up to 10 days until French authorities find them a more permanent solution. Crown Prince Maha Vajiralongkorn is now Thailand's new king. This is after he accepted an invitation from Parliament to succeed his father, King Bhumibol Adulyadej. The beloved king, who was regarded as a pillar of stability, died in October.
Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas delivered an important speech on Wednesday, marking the second day of the 7th FATAH General Congress amid internal divisions within the movement. During a lengthy speech, Abbas stated that the conference would reinforce the Palestinian people's ability to achieve their national goals and objectives. The conference kicked off on Tuesday at the presidential headquarters in Ramallah in the West Bank. About 1,400 participants from the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and the diaspora anonymously re-elected President Abbas as chairman of the Fatah Party for the next 5 years. During the 5-day event, the Congress will elect 23 members of the Central Committee, the decision-making body of Fatah, and another 122 members for the Revolutionary Council.
President Abbas' speech was comprehensive. It reviewed the injustice that befell on Palestine throughout history. It also reviewed how the Israelis manipulated the Palestinians during negotiations in recent years. However, there was nothing special about that speech. It was the usual repeated standard speech.
The last and 6th Fatah Congress was held in August 2009, 2 decades after the 1989 Congress. Contrary to speculations, the re-election of President Abbas was a fresh blow to his opponents. Moreover, the conference is expected to empower Mr. Abbas's control of Fatah Party and lock out his rival Mohammed Dahalan, whom Abbas himself expelled from Fatah over criminal allegation in 2012. Nuhara Zintrusu TV, Palestine.
The city of Medellin is in the process of organizing and preparing to send home the victims of the doomed plane crash that killed most of a Brazilian soccer team. The bodies are being embalmed and prepared for transport by military aircraft back to Brazil. More on these and other stories on our website telesurtv.net/English.